Hello and welcome to another episode of Let's Draw. And in today's episode, it's gonna be a mashup of two popular characters, Sonic the Hedgehog from the Sega video games and Marty McFly from Back to the Future. This is a preparatory drawing where I'm figuring out how to do the characters together just just to try it out, just to see what options, what paths I'm going to take. As I said earlier, when you do something several times over, the more iterations you get through, the better you're going to be at doing that thing, which is why artists need to practice a lot of drawing, and why when you want to do some project, you don't have to do it, but sometimes it's a good idea to do an early pass of figuring out what are the challenges, what are the opportunities, and discovering the path you wish to take. So I'm starting out by looking at some references, what style the character of Sonic is drawn, what are the distinguishing features of the character of Marty McFly. I did a pencil sketch figuring out where things are, and now I'm inking it. I'm using a Sakura Pigma FB brush pen, which I enjoy very much because of the flexibility and rigidity of the tip. That's good for me. A lot of people like other types which work for them. It's all about finding the one that's most suitable for your style, for your personal feel with the tool. In the end, it's just a means to achieve a result. Whatever gets you there, that's what you should use. What you enjoy, that's what's good for you. Then I'm using a fine line felt tip rapidograph for cross hatching, and now a Winsor & Newton alcohol-based marker. Now, I'm actually not using, a lot of people will often say that you have to use marker paper to get the best results, and while that may be true, I found that because I like to do the inking first, the marker paper is not absorbent enough to allow it to dry, and some of it will remain not adhering to the paper, so when I go over it with the markers, it'll smudge. And for here, for example, I had to wait approximately an hour after the inking to make sure that I don't smudge the ink. So I'm using just heavyweight Bristol paper here. What you want to take notice of is your leading edge. You want the ink, the color of the marker not to dry before you complete the area that you're coloring in, or there will be a noticeable overlap. You want it all to be wet or to dry together at the same time, which is why you need to take notice of things like what are the areas where the outlines pass, how you can reach them by keeping the leading edge of the color field wet. And in this technique, what you can do is after it dries, you can use this property of the markers, for instance, to make shading. So you go over the dried marker with the same color, but now there will be an overlap and it will appear to be a slight shade darker. You can see that I used that effect a little bit, but instead of using only markers, I'm also using colored pencils. Now this Bristol I bought because it was cheap, and I needed some medium. I didn't want to waste my really good paper. I don't really like how much texture it has, but that has its own uh, particular qualities that you can take advantage of or deal with as best as you can. And I'm alternating between using darker shades to create effects of lighting and lighter color to make it pop out. And that's pretty much it. This is a preparatory sketch. I'm going to have another video of a similar, a little bit more involved drawing. I hope you enjoy this. And please come again, comment in the comment field, like, subscribe, and have a nice day.